Hi everyone, welcome to the Examine Life Daily. I'm here with Bob.
Hi Autumn, hi everyone.
And today we are going to talk about the topic of, are we preaching at you? And one of the reasons we really wanted to address this topic, and early on with the launch of the channel, is it's a really reasonable question, right? I mean, we've talked about how we're going to be talking about spirituality, philosophy, psychology, all that wonderful stuff. And so you might wonder, what are they going to tell me? How dogmatic might they be? How forceful might they be? Or are they somebody that I really might like to listen to?
So for me, it's really important that I give you ideas that you play with and you either accept or you reject. It's my assumption that a lot of what I'm going to tell you, you're gonna check it out, see if it works, and you're gonna say, no, this does not work. Or maybe you'll say, well, I hadn't thought of that. I might give that a try. I'm looking at everything in this channel as an experiment. That's what my spiritual growth and my advancement into well-being, into living a flourishing life has been. It's been one big experiment. I try things, and if they work, I keep them, and if they don't work, I reject them. So that is my wish for you. And my big other thing is, I will never tell you anything that I can't back up with reason and logic and science, because while I am committed to a spiritual life, I am equally committed to using my brain. That's why God gave me this brain. He didn't want me to just toss it out and say, well, that's worthless. It's the apex of life on this planet. It's not worthless. It's valuable. It's important. And Autumn, how about you?
Well, one of the things that I think about is, what's the difference between preaching and sharing? What's the difference between preaching and teaching? When I think of preaching is control in a sense. Even if it's like a beneficial message, it's think, feel, and do as I'm telling you. And that's not what this is. As Bob shared, this is really about sharing what's worked for us. Some of the things that you hear, you're going to be like, wow, that resonates. Other things, you're going to be like, I didn't really like that, not so much. And so if that's the case, if the latter is the case, no worries. Stick around and share about it. This is a place where we want to have respectful, but really thorough, wonderful discussion.
One of the ways I like to think about this channel is a toolkit. That's all we're doing. We are experimenting with different tools to find our best, most healthiest, happiest, most flourishing life. And we found some tools that worked for us, and we found some tools that didn't work so well for us. You are a totally different human being. And so the tool that fit me may not fit you, and the tool that will fit you magnificently will not fit me. Now, one of the things I think about when I think about you is your profession. You have a master's degree in counseling, and you don't have just one method of counseling and working with someone. And you have a toolkit, many tools in the scientific world that's calling a healing modality. So you come to a person and think, what tool would work best with this person? And then you try that.
Exactly. And in the field of counseling, there's so many theories and approaches to supporting people finding the path of healing for themselves, and it's going to be different for everybody. There's cognitive behavioral therapy, which is a really mind-focused logic and reason. I love it. And it has some flaws, but there's a very cognitive approach to therapy. There's also somatic therapies, which are really far more about the body. There's creative therapies and play therapies for kiddos and adolescents. IFS is one of my favorite theories overall, because that really incorporates more of the soul, which I'm really into, and something we'll be talking quite a bit about on this channel, both IFS and what the heck is the soul,
This isn't a preaching channel, so don't worry about being preached at. This is not a preaching channel. We both think spirituality is important, but if you don't, believe me, there will be plenty. You leave that part and that's for another day. I'm not going to take that, and take what you can and what you need. We have a wolf.
Oh, well, hello, Wolf. Wolf seems friendly.
Oh yeah. He's been around all day yesterday. He seemed really good.
As we're talking about spirituality, we have a wolf join us. So, Bob, I'm curious to hear you share, for the folks who maybe aren't as spiritually inclined but have come here for just good discussion, how could this channel still be interesting to them or beneficial for them?
Well, we'll do a lot of philosophy. I am a huge believer in philosophical systems. We will lay out different ones. Two that speak really directly and powerfully to me are Stoicism and Epicureanism. There's going to be a lot of philosophy. There's going to be a lot of therapeutic stuff. There's going to be an understanding from the best science available today, um, how to, as a human, how to live your best life. We want to look at the whole spectrum of living, being a living human being who is in a body, who is an animal, who has a long evolutionary history. We want to work with that, but I'm convinced we are more than just an animal. There is something inside of us that is beyond time and space. And it's important that I say, I don't understand any of it, and I don't have any answers. It's a great mystery. All I know is if I establish a right relationship with this great mystery, that's what's important, not who or what the mystery is. If I establish a right relationship with it, then my life goes well. My life goes really well. So that will be part of who we are and what we do, and it's for you to pick and choose. I hope you're an experimenter. If we present to you internal family systems, I hope you will try that. If we present to you, what's something else?
Like cognitive behavioral therapy, or even some somatic ideas, somatic therapeutic ideas.
I hope you'll be willing to try them. That's pure science. But if we talk about ways that we can be as spiritual human beings, we can live a better life, which they are all going to boil down the universal truths among all religions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. I mean, it really is just as simple as that. That's spirituality in one little tiny nutshell. I have a metaphor that I like to use, and I'm sure you have heard this metaphor before of the spokes of a wheel. And I believe that we are all on a spoke on a wheel. So if you're living out on the rim of the wheel, you're living on autopilot. And I think of the sitter as the great mystery, the Tao, that which cannot be named or identified or understood. And along the way are spokes, and these are generally philosophies. They are healing modalities, they're science. They're all ways to get better and to improve. So you start down a spoke, and there's many, many spokes. You know, this is an analogy. I can only show you however many spokes there are on here. There are hundreds, there are thousands, there are millions of spokes. And within each spoke, say this is the Christianity spoke, or the Buddhist spoke, or the Jewish, or the Muslim spoke. Within each of these spokes, it splitters down into other hundreds of subdivisions. And so, and each of them are claiming to be the truth and only the truth. See, we're never going to claim that to you. I think this whole wheel is the truth. And the real truth is here in the center, at the very, very center, the great mystery, whatever it is. And we're all working towards it. Our goal is to move forward in this life. Just so long as you're moving forward. The only wrong thing that a human being can do is fail to grow or to regress. That is harmful to them. As long as you're growing and moving and expanding and becoming, you are on the right path and you have come to the right place, because that's our goal, to be a part of that with you. We're going to present many, many different ideas from all over the spoke, and you take the ones that work for you and leave the rest.
We would love to hear, what is your path? And more specifically, why has that worked for you? What was it about that really spoke to you and made it work? And by the way, we're going to get lots of video ideas from what you share. In fact, this very video came up from a commenter saying, hey, are you going to preach at us? Which is a very reasonable question when you're talking about these big life topics.
So we'll see you on the next video. And until then, keep growing, my friends.